There's been a flood of stories lately about folks getting swindled out of their savings by a sneaky vehicle scam. It's heartbreaking to see so many people fall victim to these con artists.
Anytime, any errands or anything, he's the one who used to carry out my errands. And I trusted him because he was the one who really was the main go-to person that I had to carry out my errands. You understand? And I entrusted him with the money. And I had another vehicle, a van also, and I had entrusted that with him to sell that for me, because he had said, he could sell it for me. And of course, I wanted to get another vehicle to be able to take my kids to school.
Zenaida Moya put her faith in Melbourne Wade to handle buying her new car and selling her old van. Now he's facing the magistrate's court, accused of swindling her out of over $50,000. Back in 2024, Wade was hit with 8 separate charges for similar scams. Having worked for Moya for years, she never imagined he'd betray her trust like this.
He brought the vehicle to me. Yes, I have photos of the vehicle. I have photos of him.
In the vehicle?
Yes, in the vehicle. I have photos of him standing next to the vehicle.
So you touched it. It's not an imaginary...
No, this isn't an imaginary. I can show you photos. I can show you everything of this vehicle.
After spending weeks behind bars at the Belize Central Prison, Melbourne Wade, the man accused of scamming Zenaida Moya, told the media in January that he's ready to come clean about his actions.
4 cases has been withdrawn against me, and people have going to civil suit matter where. It's not the problem by paying back people their money, ban business, or fix what is gone wrong. But I have a changed life. I have a family out here that I need to be out here for.
Wade insists he didn't scam anyone. He claims it was just bad business. And that's just the case. One bad deal often leads to another, as some dealers try to fix one client's issue using another client's money, in essence, a Ponzi scheme. Maho Koch, the owner of Coachella Car Club, also shared his thoughts on the matter.
There is almost nothing for 10,000, 15,000. It sounds like a lot of money, but when you buy something on the auction in US as low as 1,000 US, it costs you here landed after repairs, service, minimum 15,000. So you have to put your minimum 20%, 30% profit margin, because you take about 2-3 months to restore the vehicle. We are talking about 3 months per vehicle. So how do you manage that? And people, they don't want to pay the 15 grand or 20. They say, no man, I want cheaper. When you say cheaper, that's when they catch you, because they're out there waiting for you.
During a recent press conference, the Financial Intelligence Unit highlighted the car dealership industry as one of the most vulnerable sectors to money laundering. From a law enforcement perspective, they emphasized the risks and challenges this industry faces.
When we look at sectors, we're looking at how vulnerable they are, and that's compared to what threats they might be faced with.
But now not a specific one can be identified as the top of the list?
There are several that have high levels of vulnerability, yes. And I can zone in on the non-financial ones. So to name them, it would be, for example, vehicle dealers, real estate, those sorts of sectors, yes.
In a recent interview, the Minister of Home Affairs brought up concerns about money laundering in the car dealership sector. Interestingly, at least 2 senior officers, including the Commissioner of Police, owns a car dealership. While this isn't illegal, it does raise eyebrows about whether police officers should be investing in an industry plagued by scams and laundering risks.
We are not going to go down a road of restricting police officers from having a business. Now, that business obviously has to be legitimate. They obviously have to maintain their reputation in carrying out their business. That is what is important. You have to look at that. If they're swindling people, I fully agree with you that they should not have a business of that nature and remain police officers. They should come out of the department.
In August 2024, the Magistrates Court ordered Eden Crichton to pay Gilbert Blair $9,686. Blair had shelled out $13,000 for a van he never received and is still waiting to be paid back. Meanwhile, well-known businessman Amado Badillo is facing at least 3 charges for allegedly scamming hardworking Belizeans. In a shocking turn of events on January 20th, a couple was murdered, allegedly by a car dealer who took their money but never delivered the vehicle. Both the victims and the dealer were from the same community, making this one of the most extreme cases we've seen.
So it's not, oh, it can happen to just this person or just this person that may be, old or fit the code that maybe is, I don't know, whatever you say, maybe he doesn't have anybody around them, maybe uneducated, whatever you may say. No, it doesn't have to. It's all different persons that it can happen to. It is something whereby everybody, it doesn't matter what background you come from, be careful. Yeah. Just be careful.
The best way to avoid getting scammed when buying a vehicle is to make sure you have all the necessary paperwork for every agreement. Mahou Kutch advises that no one should take the process of purchasing a vehicle lightly.
You got to touch it, you got to feel it, you have to test drive it. Many people have been buying imaginary goods in Belize. It's not only vehicles, it's phones, furnitures, even properties, real estate. We have seen what's happening in Belize. When I look at the statistics, most of the time, friends, the people who know each other, sue each other. Because of the trust, you sue your own friend. Why? Don't trust that easy. Many people, they're like, man, I don't have time. I don't want to go through that. Here's the man, how much? 20, here you go, just bring it. You're not buying panades, man. It doesn't work like that. This is not tacos. This is a vehicle, this is a big investment.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.